Hi, my name is Stephen Joseph, and I'm the president and founder of EvoStream Communications. I'm also your host on this podcast, The Modern Enterprise, where we talk about everything from technology to sales, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking another short out of the long conversation we had with Accedian, one of our partners for network performance monitoring and security operations management tools. Now, I talked with Greg Spears and Michael Bacon, as I previously mentioned, and what we started to discuss is a very specific application which I think solutions providers will understand that are selling SD-WAN. So in this part of the conversation, we talk about SD-WAN and we talk about the importance of having a network performance monitoring tool in place, not only for when things are going bad, but also for when things are going right. So you'll understand what I mean by that if you tune into this video.
No indication that anything's happened because the SD-WAN works, right? A good SD-WAN is going to make sure that there's no hiccups on a phone call, or, if there is an internet issue with one of your providers, that the user experience really isn't interrupted. However, and that's good and it's bad, right? Because sometimes you don't know that there's an issue, right? And that issue may eventually get to the point where there's prolonged, or chronic, interference that the carrier is getting away with, right? Because carrier A is doing the job that carrier B is supposed to be doing. And what we want to do is we want to be able to go back and, just through best practices and stewardship reviews, have the intelligence to say, look, you guys had a great month. However, what we're realizing is that, I don't want to name a carrier right now, but carrier B is not doing its job. They're getting away with it because carrier A continues to pick up the slack in the circuit, right? So what I like here is that from the information you guys are providing as someone who recommends SD-WAN products, right? We also want to service and support that product and make sure, not only the service provider, but the SD-WAN provider is not is being held accountable, as we said before, throughout that life cycle, even when things go right, not just when things go wrong. I can imagine what it's like if there is, a major outage or an issue, and you guys have to go into sort of triage mode. But those are often not the examples that we like to point out to a customer when we're talking about network performance and SD-WAN, especially when we're selecting carriers, because customers are sensitive, and preferential oftentimes to one or two carriers, right? And if they've never felt the issue, that can just create a false sense of security in a certain provider. Yeah. And what we like to do is demonstrate that, with a product like this, we can keep these carriers honest, and we can also be honest with ourselves to make sure we understand when we're looking to make a change, who actually is performing throughout the life cycle of a contract. And that performance isn't necessarily always going to be picked up by, an outage, right? Or your SD-WAN monitoring or orchestrator tool. So,
well, SD-WAN is like it's like the Tylenol, right, of networks. It's going to mask the problem. You still have a bad knee, but you don't feel it anymore, right? So now when you run out of Tylenol, then all of a sudden your knee's shot, right? And we actually are working with a tier one carrier who wants to prove to their SD-WAN customers that their link is the best link, right? So much like you're saying, right, another link is performing poorly, the SD-WAN box is making up for it. And the flip side of that is some customers might be saying, well, I'm paying, $1,000 a month for this, and I'm paying $100 for this. My SD-WAN box is doing a great job. I'm just going to shut this one down because, I'll just go on the other one, just to find out that it's not what it wasn't being distributed equally, shall we say. So that's a very interesting use case.
It is. I would add to that, though, that user experience in the SD-WAN world is also important, because while it may reroute things, it doesn't always keep the same quality of experience. It's going to take the best available resource it has, but still being able to monitor end user experience in the SD-WAN world is huge, in my opinion. But you're still going to see some degradation of quality and performance in some cases, although you may not notice it, but it is still there in some cases.
Hey guys, thanks again for listening to this video. Again, we're the Modern Enterprise, and we're trying to bring leadership, entrepreneurship, and everything tech business to you through this podcast. Now, if you want to get in touch with us, of course, we love it when you direct message us on LinkedIn, comment, share this post, and please check out our YouTube channel and on Instagram or directly at www.evo-stream.com.